Welcome back to another Wunderbar. Not gonna lie, I'm on one today, dude. And why am I on one? Because I'm just tired of everybody's bullcrap, dude. I'm tired of the BS. And I'm trying not to swear in the first couple seconds because I still have YouTube ambitions. Why I still have YouTube ambitions, I don't know, dude. I think the smart route at this point is to just be completely honest, be completely blunt, say exactly what you want to say, because it's what everybody wants to hear, you know? It's so easy to make good content because all you got to do is be honest, but then you got to like tiptoe around it. You got to tiptoe around everything. You can't just come out and say the brutal truth. But as soon as anybody comes out and says the brutal truth and be like, oh, that guy's speaking the truth, and somehow that's impressive. And God damn it, I forgot something. I always forget to turn that light off. But anyways, welcome y'all to another episode of GUSH, where the bullshit just gushes out of my mouth. But it's not even the bullshit. I guess I'm speaking the bullshit about how I'm tired of the bullshit. Like today I saw an article by this Indian guy who's like, we're coming for the equity and equality that we deserve. Like, what do you want? What exactly is that? Indian guy, his name was like Rashidi Habibi. Like, what equity are you talking about? Aren't you guys statistically the richest people in the United States? Huh? Like, what do you think you're entitled to? What do you think you deserve? What do you think that's going on? Like this big secret white people meeting where we all just show up and then somebody else's dad just gives us a sailboat. I don't understand. I don't understand what these people, when I say these people, I mean broad, not just Indian people, just anybody and everybody that's bitching and complaining about the inequalities or whatever the fuck. What exactly do you want and who is keeping you from them? Who is keeping you from having the thing that you want, and what is it that you want? I just hear this language like, we are fighting for equality and the equity. Like, what is it? What exactly is it? Nobody can give you an answer. They'd be like, oh, we want to end racism. We want to end, like, what racism are you talking about? What can anybody do, Indian guy? And it's so funny, we used to talk about, oh, America was built on immigration. Sure, it was. But the immigrants that actually built it, they came here when there wasn't jack shit. They came here and they were fighting with the Comanches and literally the British. We were colonized by the British. When they talk about, oh, India is such a shithole because they were all these places, Africa, were destabilized by the Brits. Yeah, you know where else was destabilized by the Brits? Right here. And you know what we did? We fucking fought them and we beat them. And we started our own culture of football and burgers and all the other dumb shit I'm not even into, but that people should be freely allowed to enjoy, you know? That's our culture. People come to America and they act like America has no culture. America has a culture. Like, oh, white people specifically. They're like, oh, white people have no culture. If you think white people have no culture, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Well, the culture is the thing that I don't see people hanging off of a C-17 to go to the Middle East, right? Sorry, our culture goes beyond what spices you put in your food or what you do with your hair. Just because we don't have, you know? Because here's what white people did. Here's what the Europeans did. We all came from different places: Germany, England, Denmark, Italy, Spain. And then we came to America. We're like, oh, we're in a new place. We should find a thing that works out for all of us and assimilate to that, and that'll become our culture. So that's what white people culture is everybody working together. Then you get everybody else that shows up late to the party and they're like, oh, well, we want all the riches that this thing did, but we don't want to actually act like you. And then you expecting us to act like you is racist and bigotry, but we want all the splendors of you going to work, waking up at 4:30, and all the hard work you put in, you dying of tuberculosis, moving out west, your ancestors having to go fight in Vietnam, the Civil War, World War II, World War I. We don't want to do all that, and we don't want to act like you. We don't want to assimilate. We don't want to learn your language. We don't want to act like you at all. Matter of fact, we fucking hate you, but we want all the splendor. That's where we're at. And if you say anything about that, oh, you're a bad person. You're this and that. You lose your job. This and that. Just the biggest bullshit, dude. We need another fucking crusade, but instead of going and enforcing our bullshit on other people, we need an internal crusade. We just need to go around the country. I guess that's what ICE is doing right now, even though I don't agree with most of it, but just in general, we need a fucking domestic crusade where we go around and anybody that is criticizing what we do, but that wants to mooch off of it, we're like, yes, you're allowed to criticize it, but shut the fuck up. That's what we need. We need a shut the fuck up crusade. Because for some reason, we're not allowed to tell people to shut the fuck up anymore. And that is the biggest problem in the world. The biggest problem in the world is we're not allowed to tell anybody to shut the fuck up anymore. Dude, I saw the most mind-boggling thing earlier, and I'll put the tweet on the screen. I'll put the tweet on the screen. It says, so Congresswoman, let's see, let's pull it up here. Muslim women belong in every room where decisions are made. Grateful to stand with Hajib on the Hill to uplift Muslim visibility, representation, and unapologetic leadership. Now, here's the deal with that, okay? If Muslim women need to be in every room that decisions are made, why are they not allowed in the rooms where the decisions are made in their own fucking countries? You know what I mean? And I've never understood the hijab thing because isn't it men forcing women to cover up their hair so they do not look attractive to other men? But then when they wear it in the West, it's like now you got these Western feminist liberals, right? Going like, oh, no, we need to embrace the hijab because that is their culture. It's literally a form of oppression on these women, telling them they can't show their hair. So when we're saying every room where decisions are made needs Muslim women in it, so why is that here? Why do I need to listen to them? If they're not allowed to drive or speak or vote in their own countries, why do I need to listen to them? You know what I mean? Yeah. Why me? You don't see Habibi back in Pakistan. They're not even allowed to drive there. They're not allowed to do jack shit over there. But what does it say? Muslim women belong in every room where decisions are made. So are they going to go in there and be like, oh, the West, we need more Islam in the West? Well, guess what's going to happen, bitch? If you do that, if you enforce your culture too much on us, you're not going to be able to do that. What you should do is take the fucking hijab off and walk in and be like, oh, hey, thank you, Western white people, for actually allowing me in the room and be a part of the decisions. But instead you're like, no, I need to bring my culture into the room to do that, even though my culture doesn't allow this. The fuck are we doing, bro? And we just got to sit there and be like, oh, yes, this is beautiful and this is wonderful. And then here's the criticism. The criticism of people like me that are saying what I'm saying, they'll be like, oh, you're just mad that the country's getting unwhitened or whatever. And then on the same hand, if you bring up the great replacement theory, they're like, oh, that's not true. That's a conspiracy theory. So which one is it? Is the great replacement theory a conspiracy theory? Is it not true at all? Or am I just salty because the country's getting less whitened? And whitened isn't even the thing. Like, that's the thing. Like, white people and black people can live together. Same with Hispanics. We can all live together, right? But we have to have a collective understanding of what that looks like. And this is what bothers me, is when people come here and they try to decide that, no, you guys don't have a thing. We're doing this now because this is the country built off immigration. Is it really? It's not. We have a thing. Like, where else in the world? Like, if I went to some Middle Eastern country and I started bitching and complaining, they would cut my hand off. And that's not right, but that's just how it is. The fact that we need to be such pushovers at all times, I mean, it makes no sense, bro. I don't I don't want to do it. Is that bad? Like, that's just it. I don't want to do it. I have no problem with anybody else wanting to do what they want to do. But here's the thing. I don't want to do it. I don't want any form of Sharia law. Okay? I don't want any form of it. I don't want to be around any gay shit. I don't want to be around that. None of it. This is actually where I agree with our overlords, the Israelis. And this is one other thing that's really been bothering me, okay? Whenever I criticize Israel, the criticism back, the response to that, be like, oh, you're or Jewish, right? If I say anything about Jewish people, right, they'll be like if I point out why is 2.4% of the population, 64% of Fortune 500 CEOs, which is funny because everybody's like, oh, we hate the corporations, but you can't say like, well, who's running the corporations? Who's doing all these shady, shifty things, just completely destroying the country? We can't talk about who's doing it. We just got to say the corporations. But everybody knows who the corporations are, right? But then if you point out who's running the corporations, if you say anything, they'd be like, oh, it's because they got high IQ, they're just workaholics, they do this and that, blah, blah, blah. Sure. But here's the thing with even if all that's true, right? If everything's pointing to that being true, then why are they victims? That's my problem. Why is that a protected class? Why are they victims? If they're so smart and so successful and so hardworking and can do this and that, how the fuck are they victims? That's what I'm saying. I'm not blaming them for any of my shortcomings. I'm saying go do what you do. Go. If you're the smart people, even though I think working in white collar crime, corporate, it's not so much. There's a lot of sliminess and griminess involved with that, which is a form of intelligence, sure. But I mean, I'm pretty sure the Asians score higher on every standardized tests, and their culture is all about respect. You go to Japan, they're all shout out to Japan. That's another thing people say. Oh, these countries have all been destabilized by the Brits. Japan got hit with a fucking nuke within the last century, and they're the most advanced, polite, amazing civilization, just high IQ civilization with great morals and ethics. And so they're way smarter than the Jews. I'm not saying the Jews aren't smart, but so it's we can't just say it's IQ, this and that, because a lot of it is they get to act on nepotism, which is fine. Everybody should be able to do that. Here's what's so crazy. If you work at a big company and you have a sibling or a parent or something like that, you can't work in the same department. If they're in a leadership role, if your dad is the manager at Microsoft and you go work at Microsoft, you can't work in that department with your dad because you're going to get preferable treatment. But if for some reason you're Jewish, they can help each other out, which they should. I feel like every group of people, everybody should help everybody out. I mean, everything should be merit-based at the end of the day, but it's not. Everything is built off relationships. But for some reason, for me, anything I do that's built off relationships, there's an ethical violation, right? If I go ask my dad, who was I'm not going to say what he was, but he was very high up at a very Fortune 500 company. If I would have gone and been like, hey, can you give me a job doing this that I'm unqualified for? That's a lawsuit. But if somebody else does it, it's fine because that's a protected group looking out for each other. At what point does the protected group who has all the money, at what point is it huh? Where does that go, Fuck out of here, bro. It's just it's just programming, dude. It's we're so programmed to just not, I can't do it anymore, bro. I don't want to say we're so hard on cults, right? I'm kind of infatuated with cults. I love the cult documentaries and stuff like that. And when normal people watch these cult documentaries, we're always like, oh, how could this happen? How could these people get so brainwashed, right? How could these people get so sucked into this and so brainwashed? But how is our normal day-to-day life any different? They subscribe to one leader, and how much shit do we believe just because it's in a book or we learned it in school or it's just the general consensus or because the president said it? There is no truth. I mean, there's reality, but there's really no truth because even your own thoughts, right? Even your own thoughts is just the voice running wild in your head. You're not actually controlling it. You know, like when you're creating something, if you're writing a song, if you're writing a paper or something like that, think about it. It's coming from somewhere else into your brain. So you don't even have control over your own thoughts and the things that are happening, you know? It's everything else that we perceive, right? We're just born into the world. The world is what it is. You pay your taxes. There's a government. There's this and that. There's all these different structures that then all the illegals want to come and exploit. Life is just a giant cult. We're all just so brainwashed into not, you know, that this is why my father told me to not go into the military. When I was 18, I wanted to go into the Army or the Marines or something like that. And my dad was like, dude, you asked too many questions. You're going to get court-martialed. He was like, that's the last place you want to be in the military, and having some guy telling you, hey, go do this. And you're like, well, why would I do that when I could do this? What's the purpose? I have that at my day job all the time, dude. It's so brutal. It's so brutal. I'll be filling out some log that goes to, I'm just shuffling data around that doesn't fucking matter. And that's what everything is. Like nothing really, like you could strip down a lot of the bullshit, right? At the end of the day, most jobs, like you guys better go learn a trade right now. If you're sitting behind a computer for a living, you're fucked. AI is coming, dude. Your job is pointless. Absolutely pointless. You better go learn it, which is so funny because I remember back in, I don't know, like the early 2000s, 2012, they'd be like, oh, you better go learn to code. Now, what are you going to do with all these fucking computer geeks and stuff? On one hand, I really don't like government overreach, but on the other hand, I wouldn't be against the government just banning AI. There's no reason civilians should have AI. Besides for medical research or coding, or like you should have to get a special license to use AI. It should be like a license given to businesses to use AI. It's like the dead internet theory or anything really. AI is just destroying. It's making such like soulless content. You don't know who on the other customer service. I mean, it should straight up be fucking outlawed for anything besides science research, medical research, and like I don't know, building stuff. You know, for design or anything solving problems. It's probably good for, right? But to use it to represent humans, not even so much replace humans, but to represent humans. Like you're texting a customer service chat line and now you're just talking to some GPT. Or all the artwork you see, right? You go on Etsy to go buy some artwork. Not that I would ever do that because I don't give a shit. But you go on anyone that is just some AI generated garbage. All of these blog posts is all just AI generated garbage. If you go watch a YouTube tutorial video on how to do something, person be like, oh, well, you just go to ChatGPT and you do the prompt and then you can use this prompt to inspire. No! If you need ChatGPT to inspire anything in your life, you shouldn't be doing the thing. Go be an electrician. You know what I mean? If you need ChatGPT to generate you a script for your Instagram reels, go be a stripper. It is so fucking apparent, right? That's if you hear the term thin slicing. Malcolm Gladwell, he has a book called what is it called? I think it's called Blick or something like that. He talks about this concept thin slicing, like where you can just look at something like a knockoff. If you know, you can just look at like a knockoff purse and you just know it's a knockoff. Or like you could look at this guy, he was looking at these statues of like David, and he just knew that they were fake. And so we can look at things, right? The human intuition, within like 2 seconds, you can tell that something's just off. And that's how we feel about AI. You can look at anything AI generated, even if it's coming out of a person's mouth. So when a person's sitting there just reciting an AI generated script, it's like, dude, shut the fuck up. You're taking away space. You're uploading shit on the internet, which doesn't need to be there. Go pour concrete, bro. It's way better anyway. You make way more money. That's one thing too. Like Especially if you're a guy, I don't know why any guy would ever want to sit in an office. Sure, it's nice to sit under the AC, but as like a blue collar guy, imagine having to put the pronouns in your email and not being able to call your coworker a faggot. That sounds terrible. Imagine going to HR because did you call your friend a pussy? Yes, I did. I'd rather break my back working construction and be able to call my coworker a dumbass than have some woman with the communications degree sitting there lecturing me about what I can and can't say. Fuck that, dude. Where are we at? All right, well, we're going to wind things down. It was a little on one today, but that's okay. Please like the video, sub to the channel. I don't give a shit.